नमस्कार दोस्तों, आज के बहुत ही स्पेशल ब्रॉडकास्ट में हरिताज लाइव में आप सभी का स्वागत है। 15 सितंबर को यूनाइटेड नेशंस मनाता है इंटरनेशनल डे ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी, यानी कि विश्व का लोकशाही दिवस। इसके पीछे के बहुत बड़े मायने हैं, क्योंकि ये एक चिंता का विषय है कि जहां पर डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है, जहां पर लोकशाही नहीं है, लोगों का राज नहीं है, वहां पर जो राइट्स हैं, जो हक हैं, जो अधिकार हैं, वो दबाए जा सकते हैं। जो व्यक्ति की जीने की स्वतंत्रता है, उसको भी कहीं ना कहीं आंच आती होती है। तो इसीलिए ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है कि लोकशाही की स्थापना हो ज्यादा से ज्यादा देशों में, और उसका अमल भी बहुत अच्छे से हो। इसीलिए हम चाहते हैं कि डेमोक्रेसी के जो दो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण पॉलिटिकली जो पासे हैं, जो मुद्दे हैं या एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, वो है रूलिंग पार्टी और अपोजिशन पार्टी। अपोजिशन पार्टी की भी बहुत अहम भूमिका हमेशा डेमोक्रेसी में रही है, ताकि वो बेहतर हो और लोगों के लिए लाभदायी हो। और आज के विषय पर हम बात कर रहे हैं रोल ऑफ अपोजिशन पार्टी इन द डेमोक्रेसी। हेल्दी डेमोक्रेसी कैसे हो सकती है जब अपोजिशन पार्टी अपनी भूमिका ठीक तरह से निभाए। और इसी विषय पर हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं मनोज शरण जी, जो इंडियन ओवरसीज कांग्रेस ऑस्ट्रेलिया के प्रेसिडेंट हैं। मनोज जी, वेलकम टू माय लाइफ।
Thank you, Harita ji. Namaskar to everybody who is watching your show. Congratulations. Thanks.
थैंक यू। सबसे पहला सवाल आपसे मनोज जी पूछना चाहती हूँ कि डेमोक्रेसी, लोकशाही को आप अपनी तरह से डिफाइन कीजिए।
See, democracy was not really given by anybody to people of the world. It was really fought by tooth and nail, and we got it from the earlier rulers, whether they were kings or queens or any autocratic rulers. So it is our privilege to that we are living in a democratic setup, but as I mentioned, it was really not the case earlier. So it is always for the people. Democracy is always the representative for the people, and the government should represent the voices of people. They should make the policies according to the wishes and the desires of people. So they always should always should focus on the people aspect. So that is how you define democracy. And I should congratulate you on this occasion that you come up with this program. It's important that we need to highlight that it's our privilege to have living in a democratic setup. Millions of people has fought for that, and we got that after number of fights, whether it's the French Revolution in France, United Kingdom Revolution, American Revolution, or the Indian independence movement. So there is millions of people suffered on these to get that. So it's great that you are highlighting that and having this program. And I will say that we should have this, program. We should celebrate it even at the broader level. I mean, if you look at in India prospect, of course, we have International Day of Yoga, which we celebrate in a very big way. That is great. It is our culture. We should do that. We also celebrate Hindi Divas. It is again our culture, our language. It's been celebrated, in a very big way. So similarly, people of India should also, and the government should take this initiative, that they should celebrate democracy also in the similar way. Because we have a bloodful history of achieving the democracy, and the young generation should know and about that history, and they should value that. So that's why I will say that this is very important.
Yes, so it's very important not only for India, it's also for Australia, or it's for all the countries who are democratic or who believe in the democratic value.
Yeah.
So when you talk about democratic value, how do you define the role of opposition? Because हमेशा जब डेमोक्रेसी की बात आती है तो वो रूलिंग पार्टी क्या करती है, उसके आसपास ज्यादातर फोकस रहता है, उसके आसपास ज्यादातर बातें होती है। बहुत कम बातें होती है विपक्ष की भूमिका को लेकर, या विपक्ष के जो अनुभव होते हैं या उनकी जो कंट्रीब्यूशन होता है एक हेल्दी डेमोक्रेसी के लिए, उसके लिए। तो आपसे जानना चाहूंगी, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, व्हाट्स द रोल, व्हाट्स द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ अपोजिशन पार्टी?
Yeah, so great. So, before I move to the role of opposition, I would also like to add that democracy has evolved in every year, in every era, in every decade, and then we every government need to ensure that that their people need to know their rights. So even the last person standing in the queue need to know his or her democratic rights. That is very important. So especially the vulnerable people of society. I mean, if you look at in India, yes, we are a democratic country, but there are still section of society which are not still able to access their rights, which are not even aware of their democratic rights. So that is important, that this should be an evolving process, and then we should keep engaging those people so that they also get the full benefit of democracy. So your question about the opposition party, yes, this is a great question. It's a very important pillar. Opposition parties or political parties are very important pillar in democracy, particularly opposition parties, because opposition parties' role is very big. Uh, they act like the watchdog for the people. Their role is surely to make the government of our accountable, that they follow the constitution, they follow the voices of people, and they should make policies for all section of the society. So they should act like the watchdog. And if you look back in India from the last few years, there has been some issues which has been highlighted by whether they are whether by the people or by the different authorities, that there is a undermining of democratic setup happening. And surely the opposition party is playing a big role in highlighting those. If we talk about Congress, I mean, at the moment, if you look back in India, the Congress is the kind of the only opposition party I can see which is playing a constructive role in highlighting the various the issues in governance of country. So Congress is playing a very constructive role. They from time to time they are giving suggestions constructively to government of India. It is government's prerogative whether they accept it, not. But Congress is playing a constructive role. Whether it's a coronavirus or whether it's any. I mean, demonetization, whether it's any kind
So
of.
when you say constructive criticism Congress is providing, that's also allegation on the Congress party that they just do opposition for the sake of opposition without the ground reality check. That's also the allegations come across.
Yes, the allegation are always, of course, there. But I will go point to point. What Congress has been doing as opposition party and playing the constructive role from the last 6 years. Congress is there with the people, always with talking about the people, whether it's parliament or outside parliament. In parliament also, they are raising the voices of people. Uh, Outside parliament, they are with the people. They are engaging the people, asking their problem, and then of course representing them. So I don't really understand that why these allegations are coming, because Congress is actively doing what is supposed to be done. As I mentioned, if you look at coronavirus, I mean, this is one of the biggest crises our country has faced in the last 20, 30, 40 years. So
Yeah.
Congress has, of course, played a constructive role in that. They have suggested the government even before the pandemic was really hitting India. They really warned the government that, look, this is coming. They need to do something on that. Whether and during the crisis also, they have giving the right sort of advice to the government, but it is the government which is sort of undermining the role of opposition.
Okay. When you
Even
say,
before, if we talk about demonetization, the Congress has really warned government that this is going to be very disruptive for the country. Again, the government undermined that. So it is the government which is sort of undermining the role of opposition. If you look at the parliament, there are number of ordinances the government is bringing without any discussion. So that is sort of undermining not only the opposition but even the parliaments. So ordinances, the bills are not going to the parliament standing committees. There is no discussion happening. So this government is sort of undermining not only the opposition but the parliament, and also and diluting the constitutional bodies also, which are
when
again
you
the pillars
say
of democracy.
Yeah, so when you say that the government is undermining the oppositions because they are in the majority, or they have the power or the support of the people, why Congress can't take up the role and when say yes, people also do not undermine the Congress and the people also come and support? Because कई बार ये जानने में आता है या सुनने में आता है कि कांग्रेस कहीं ना कहीं विपक्ष पार्टी के तौर पर इतनी सफल नहीं दिखाई दे रही जितनी सफल उसे होना चाहिए था, या फिर जिस हिसाब से डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप में कोई अपोजिशन पार्टी को देखा जा सकता है। मैं कांग्रेस की स्पेसिफिकली इसलिए बात कर रही हूँ क्योंकि वो राष्ट्रीय पक्ष है, राष्ट्रीय तौर पर इतने सालों से एक्टिव है कंपेयर टू दी अदर स्मॉलर पार्टीज।
देखिए, again I will say that at the moment Congress is fighting against a kind of government and a kind of party which India never had seen before. So they have massive muscle power, massive money power. They have massive money power. You can see the BJP at the moment is one of the richest party in the world. So you're fighting against that kind of party and that kind of regime, which is so determined to undermine democracy. Now, media is again playing a very different role. It is heavily controlled by the regime, and some of the media channels are kind of acting as a spokesperson of the party or of the government. So they are not really highlighting what the opposition is doing and what are the real issues the country is facing and how the opposition is dealing with that. So they are not really showing those. That is also a big concern. And number three, all the social media manipulation. I mean, we have recently seen the Facebook controversy. We're all aware of that. So that is also very manipulated by the present regime, by the BJP. We all know that they've got many, workers or sitting around the world manipulating the whole social media, setting their own narrative and distorting the facts. And then so the whole spirit and the culture of country has been changed by the present regime for their own benefits. So it is a difficult role for any opposition party currently to really show their visibility. Congress has been in the field. Let me just explain. Congress has been in the field. If you look at the Congress youth wing, NSUI is actively engaging the students, actively raising the issues of the students, whether it's unemployment, whether it's the recent examination issues in coronavirus, any kind of issues. If you look at the Youth Congress also actively engaging the youths of India. They are doing the demonstrations. They are actively talking with the youth, for the youth, actively everywhere, whether it's at the district level, college level, state level. Main AICC also, if you look at that, they are at the district level, whether it's the district level, whether it's the state level, at the national level. They're actively in the field, engaging the people, raising their voice. So there is absolutely no doubt that Congress is not playing the role. These are just the allegation. Again, as I mentioned, media, social media is heavily controlled. We have seen that. There are a number of voices, whether they are the neutral people or whoever, they are raising the voices against the media. So I think the issue is not Congress or anybody. It's just the way the country is being controlled.
Okay.
So there are a number of examples I can give you where Congress has been constructively playing the role, is with the people, always with the people.
Okay. One question is coming via WhatsApp, and it says ki if people are connected or the Congress is actively connected with the people, why they got only 44 seats?
See, that is again, we're talking about electoral politics here. Electoral politics and the discussion probably, maybe, it's a different topic there, why we got 44.
Yeah.
That's, I think, it's probably a different topic. We're all talking about democracy, we're talking about the role. Uh, See, election win and loss has been happening, and this is a sign of healthy democracy. Uh, I won't
In
really
terms of
go.
engaging with people, Manoj, I'm specifically pointing out this. I took this question via WhatsApp because it has the connection with the engaging people.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you can see that whether it's Youth Congress, NSUI, AICC, they are engaging with the people. But as I mentioning again, they are up against a regime or a party which is using money as their muscle, which is controlling the media heavily, which are raising the issues which are not related, which are very emotive. They are politicizing the army. They are politicizing a lot of other things, which the Congress doesn't want to do. Congress doesn't want to do a politics of Mandir Masjid. Congress never did that. Congress doesn't do a politics of polarization, and that is how we are representing ourselves. And then from the last 6 years, that is what coming up. I mean, look at the manifesto. If you look at the manifesto of BJP, they promised that everybody will get 15 lakhs in their bank account. They talked about 2 crore Rozgar youth will get. They talked about so many things. But have they really done anything at all? From the last 6 years, the country is really suffering on many grounds. Whether it's our internal security, whether our external security. I mean, look at the China issue. Whether it's employment, unemployment, whether the life people of life has gone better. So all these fronts, these are the some of the issues Congress always take. They will always take. They don't, as I mentioned, they don't do a politics of polarization just to win elections. They're not going to do all issues of mandir and masjid just to win election. They're not going to politicize army to win elections. So this regime is just using these issues to manipulate, basically, the democracy. So we don't do that.
If we say they are manipulating people and using the social media, and social media is that alleged they are supporting the ruling party at this stage, but Facebook is not only the social media. There are so many other social medias. बहुत सारे और भी social medias हैं जहां पर कांग्रेस एक्टिवली पार्ट कर सकती है. क्या सोशल मीडिया ने इस पूरे पॉलिटिकल सिनारियो को बदला है और अपोजिशन कहीं ना कहीं इसमें पीछे हो ऐसा नजर आ रहा है? मैं सिर्फ इंडिया की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड बोल रही हूँ कि सोशल मीडिया ने पॉलिटिक्स को कैसे इम्पैक्ट किया है और खास करके अपोजिशंस और सोशल मीडिया का कनेक्शन कैसे, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पर भी कैम्ब्रिज एनालिटिका के आरोप लगे हुए हैं.
नहीं, that is correct. I mean, yes. So the social media is again a technology, and I will say that that technology can be destructive also, and it can be constructive. And again, it depends on who is managing that technology, who's controlling that technology. Of course, the government is controlling the technology, and with the technology, you have to spend huge amount of money. Whether it's good for democracy, again, it's depend how we are using it. It it is really challenging. These times are challenging for all parties, whether it's Congress. But BJP has really manipulated very well. We all are aware of that. There are number of examples. All this troll kind of thing, which we are seeing at the moment from the last 4 or 5 years, it never existed. We had a very decent sort of public discourse earlier, but now, people are scared to really write their views. They get trolled. This is a product of BJP's social media manipulation. It never had that. We never had that. Again, this Facebook controversy is now clear that BJP was heavily involved in that. There are people who are leaving Facebook just because of that, because they are not, of course, they are upset with that. So this whole social media manipulation, yes, Congress doesn't do that. you can say that yes, we are not there, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to play the game which probably BJP playing. Those kind of unfair practices, Congress is not going to involve. We have never involved, and we're not going to involve. There may be electoral, if we got any, electoral disbenefit out of that is okay. But, this is the way Congress has operated. It is a people movement. So all these manipulations are not going to be happening with Congress.
Okay. In the same regards, that's the thing is coming up with the social media कि बहुत सारी चीजें मैनिपुलेटिव तरीके से स्प्रेड की जाती है, वायरल होती है, लोग उसको बिलीव करते हैं. कांग्रेस कभी उसको रेक्टिफाई क्यों नहीं करती, चाहे वो कांग्रेस के लीडर्स के लिए हो, चाहे वो आम जनता के लिए?
See, that is again, I won't really fully agree with that. But then we got a job in hand to look after people. We got a job in hand to raise their voice. The country is in crisis from the last 6 years. We got this massive job to deal with. We need to raise their voices rather than going to every troll and answering that. This is not our job. We're not going to do probably that. That is shameful that these parties are involving in that. But we're not going to do those kind of distraction. So this is again a distraction kind of politics, which we're not going to do.
But
as you
how
said
can
that in terms of rectifying,
politics is happening? How can you counter that and stop them from destructing the society or the social fabric of India?
Yeah, again, in terms of rectifying, we are doing the rectification wherever we need that it is to be done. It is for the people of India. We are doing it, whether it's a press conference, whether we got our social media handles, or whether we are engaging people on the ground. So we are doing whatever is to be done for the people in terms of rectification role. So this is a challenging time, I will say. All this social media opening, it's a free to go on social media. This is all free sort of thing. The facts are getting distorted, and people are just sort of going as a troll. So it is challenging. I mean, Congress is of course also facing the challenges, rectifying. They are doing the rectification wherever it's needed, but this is just not their job. I mean, the main job is to represent people, raise their voices.
Okay. When you say raise their voices, बहुत सारे ऐसे हाल ही में चीजें हुई जहां पर लोगों के वॉइस नहीं देखे, लाइक वो सुने नहीं गए और सीधे सीधी चीज को इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया. कांग्रेस ने सिर्फ उसका विरोध किया, लेकिन कुछ इफेक्टिव चीजें नहीं हो पा रही, चाहे फॉर एग्जाम्पल 370 हो या सीएए हो. क्या कहेंगे इसके बारे में? दैट्स द क्वेश्चन कमिंग फ्रॉम आशीष.
नहीं, see, again, there is a smoke door. So basically, the mainstream media or the journalism, there is a big question mark on the credibility of journalism currently in India. The state of journalism or media is in a very pathetic shape. We have been doing, as I mentioned, whether Youth Congress, NSUI, AICC, district level, state level, wherever. They're all visible there. They're all engaging people. It's all happening, but the problem is that the media is not really giving a coverage. So if the media is not really telling the other side of the story, that's the challenge comes. But we, I mean, you can, as I mentioned, it's all there. It's all visible. It's not reaching to the people. Again, it's media is the way, and the media is not doing it correctly. That is the challenge Congress is facing.
Okay. So one more question is कि कांग्रेस डेमोक्रेसी की बात करती है, कांग्रेस लोगों की आवाज सुनने की बात करती है, बट कांग्रेस खुद के अंदर डेमोक्रेसी को कहीं भूल रही है.
No, that is not really correct. I mean, we got Congress has a system. We got a CWC, then we got General Secretary is a full organization structure. Then we got these youth wings. So and even the college bodies. So people are getting elected in those bodies. We had a Youth Congress elections. In NSUI also, we got these office bearers, we got a full setup. So people are coming, even ordinary people are coming. So there is a whole set of process within Congress. Maybe not sure what is really the internal democracy they're talking about, but we got a whole setup here. And then people are getting elected in that system and then becoming office bearer in Congress, and then, getting represented by people, on Congress tickets, whether MP or MLA. And there are a number of examples, you can see. There are a number of examples in every state. So, of course, there is internal democracy. It's one of the oldest party. It has a history of more than 130 years. So, a party with, and then presence is pan-India. Everywhere we have a presence in all the states, even in all the remote villages, we got a presence. So, if you don't have this kind of internal democracy sort of setup, then you can imagine then why the organization won't last that long. So people have absolutely.
Rahul Gandhi को जब president बनाने की बात थी, then there was a challenges coming from the one of the workers from Mumbai. Also अभी भी जो चहल पहल चल रही है मीडिया जिस हिसाब से रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं वो बात आ रही है कि वो अंदर की जो डेमोक्रेसी है वो जा रही है. राहुल गांधी began with the Congress Youth Congress elections to have the democratic feel. वो कहीं पर वापस बैक स्टेज पर चले गए हो ऐसा लग रहा है, which was very highlight and a dream project of Rahul Gandhi in the beginning. So these are also the systems or the symptoms कि कहीं ना कहीं democracy हिल रही है party में?
No, I don't think so. Congress is a party. It was, it was a movement. Congress was a movement. And it has evolved in those 130 years, taken different shape. And Congress is a party which is very, very vocal about democracy. Within party also, whether it's Rahul Gandhi or any other of our leaders, they have really promoted democracy in the party at more or less every level. Even in even in at the village level also, they have sort of promoted that very well. So there might be some, yes, we doing Congress at the moment is going through a lot of introspection. It's not a party of backdoor sort of thing. It's all black and white, open. You can see all these internal sort of issues happening. I mean, you can see because it's all very open party, very black and white, nothing very transparent. So, and because we have an internal democracy, that's why people can raise their voices, within party. We got a party forum, and I think it's a healthy internal democracy. We should have, I mean, every party should have the members of the party, the leaders of party should raise their voices even about the party, and I don't think there is anything wrong in that. I can't see that in the BJP. BJP is all controlled by a couple of people, and they don't, and nobody is able to raise their voices within the party forums. But in Congress, this is this is a sign of an internal democracy, that the leaders, whether they are senior leaders or any member, they can raise their voices, and their voices are getting heard. So it's not really a conflict, but it's more of a healthy signs that we have a democratic process. Leaders can raise their voices, and we'll deal with it, and that's happening. I mean, it's more than 130 years history behind all these.
Okay, after the historical thing, let me ask you the question just come up. Can we see any of the presidential elections happening with the Congress in the near future? And can you see anybody out of Nehru Gandhi family as a president?
That is all possible. I mean, that is all possible. We had elections earlier also. So that is all quite possible. Again, I'm not probably the right person at the moment because it's always a high level sort of decision.
So that's the biggest thing when you accept, yes, that is possible in the party.
Yeah, that is possible. Of course, there are, we all can see there are people who are asking for some elections in CWC. That is all possible. Again, we have very senior leaders who has in the public life from this last 40, 50 years, they had the, a great experience. So we will come out with the right solution. I mean, all the voices which at the moment, which there are leaders who are raising their voices. I mean, this is all in public domain. So their voices are getting heard, and there is nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
It's all possible. There is no harm. As I
Yeah.
mentioned, we had election before also.
Yes. आप और मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में बैठे हैं, इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी की बात कर रहे हैं, सो वी आर एनआरआईज एंड हाउ कैन वी नॉट टॉक अबाउट द एनआरआईज? व्हाट डू यू थिंक एनआरआई इंडियन जो अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड बैठे हुए हैं वो किस तरह से अपोजिशन को देख रहे हैं? क्या वो सोच रहे हैं कि भारत सही में वापस वो सुपर पावर की दौड़ की तरफ जा रहा है, या कहीं ना कहीं कुछ अलग पिक्चर एनआरआईज में है?
See, if I talk frankly, in 2013 or 14, NRI is very enthusiastic about Mr. Modi.
Yeah.
We all know that they were really supported Modi. Majority of them supported Modi. But I think Mr. Modi has really disappointed the NRIs. From the last 6 years, you can see that NRIs are not really supporting the way they have supported Modi in 2014. The picture has completely changed. They are very upset about the way Modi had taken the country to kind of nowhere. Whatever Modi has promised, that's why NRI got retracted, because Modi has promised a moon to everybody. Of course, they can see everything now. It's nothing is really happening. The hope has they've lost the hope with the government, and then they are looking towards Congress at the moment. I represent Indian Overseas Congress. At the moment, Indian Overseas Congress is in at least more than 35 countries in the world. And then there are so many members joining Indian Overseas Congress because they think Congress is the alternate. So a lot has changed in last 6 years. NRIs again are a very important stakeholder for India and the future of India. They have their own business interest, personal interest, investments, and many more things. So they are, of course, the stakeholders, and they want a stable government and a progressive government. Not just one sort of one kind of ideological government. They want a progressive government. Because we are living in progressive countries, and we expect our government to be progressive, because we have benefited out of the progressive kind of government here, so we benefit out of that. So now NRIs are seeing that the current government is playing a lot of these polarization sort of games in India, and they're also disappointed on those also. You look at that anti-CA kind of protest. I mean, those protests happened throughout the world, and look at the attendance in those protests. They were massive. Those kind of things never happen in India. So that shows the resentment of NRIs. The recent migrant issues that was highlighted in overseas media a lot. We were very upset about it. A lot of NRIs, of course, were upset about that, because that really tarnished our image, the global image of India. The kind of economy we are having there, the recession, the deep recession, is also concerning from them. It is also a tarnishing of the brand India. So all these things are happening. NRIs are really upset about it. The hope they saw in 2014, or the hope which Modi showed to people of India and the NRI, that is all they can see. That is all gone. There are a lot of Congress activism happening. People are joining those activism. So I will say that they are very upset about all this.
Okay.
That is the feeling we get, because of course we go to the community, we talk to the community, we do a lot of events to engage them and show them the real picture also. So we can see that we can feel that.
Okay. You said you are hopeful because Congress is going so much of the introspection and may come up and may support strengthen the democracy of India by supporting the internal democracy and all the aspects. If I ask you in coming days, what are the three major or the most important step Congress should or ideally take, या ऐसे तीन चीजें क्या भविष्य में वो कर सकती हैं या करना चाहेंगी, या आपको लगता है कि वो करना चाहिए कांग्रेस को, ताकि वो बहुत ही सशक्त विपक्ष की भूमिका में अपने आप को प्रस्थापित कर सके और लोगों के, आपने कहा कि लोगों तक वो बात नहीं पहुंच पाती, तो वो लोगों तक पहुंचे। क्या 3 बातें रहेंगी?
Yes, see, I think in terms of organization perspective, if I can talk on that, there are been voices raised here and there in every party. It's very common, no matter whether it's Labour Party in Australia, Liberal Party, BJP, or any other party. So similar to Congress also. So my view is that we should have a right balance of young and the veteran leaders. The right mix is very important. The young leadership should be given more chance. Of course, the chance is there. The chances are given, but probably, India now is a young country. There is a huge amount of significant amount of young voters. So I think the right balance. We should have the right balance, which we of course working on that day every day. I mean, this is also one of a point of introspection which has been happening. Again, the engagement with people has to continuously be there, which is of course there. People like me, worker like me, are also doing the same, but that engagement has to spread further. There is no limit on that, because as I mentioned, we are up against a party which is very rich, which is very manipulative, which is very mischievous. When you are up against those parties, you need to do your hard work day and night. So that is also important, that we need to keep engaging people. Again, if we talk about the parliament or any other views, we are doing our best. We are doing the best, but we need to do, we just need to keep doing it. So these are probably the 3 main points.
Okay. And the last and very hypothetical question, ये बिल्कुल ही वास्तविक चीज नहीं है, एक काल्पनिक सिनेरियो है। आप कहीं जा रहे हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एंड यू मीट मिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी somehow. One question you can ask him. What would be that question?
See, the most important question, for me at the moment,
He is in
of course,
Australia? वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मिल रहे हैं आपसे?
हाँ, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. So I will of course ask an important question, which is about the polarization. The disharmony happening in India within different sections of society. Majority of that is based on religion. So that religious polarization is something which I'll ask, because this is not our culture, this is not our legacy, this is not the way we should represent ourselves to the world or even to our kids. So this is a question I will ask, that the government of the hour has to do a lot more, because they are of course involved in that. So they need to refrain themselves from that, and they need to do more and more to bring back the peace and harmony in our society within the section. Because if we don't have that, whether if we get 5% more GDP is a different issue. It's of course we need that. That's a separate topic. But most important, we need a social harmony and peace in our society. So this is something I will ask. The government has been actively doing all these polarization. They need to stop. They need to work on the other side. They need to refrain from that, and they need to do a lot more to bring back that peace and harmony.
Okay. And any last comment on the occasion of International Day of Democracy?
No, I must congratulate Harita ji. This is a great occasion. As I mentioned with my opening remarks, it's our privilege. Millions of people have fought for that. It should be celebrated widely. The government should take more initiative to spread democracy. And then if we as a society are not able to bring the democracy to the last person standing in the queues, I think we are not optimizing the benefits of democracy. We have seen the vulnerable sections, why they don't no idea about the rights and then the values. So we need to do as a society also more to refine the democracy. Again, it's an evolving process. Democracy has evolved from time to time, whether in India also through different, we have added many, few more fundamental rights from where we started. Whether it's RTI, RTI was a bill, then we had, other fundamental rights we added. And then, bills like anti-defection laws, those kind of things. So we filled the gaps during this, the evolution of democracy. So we just need to keep doing it. We need to keep engaging our youngsters also on the democracy, how we fought the privilege. Look at Hong Kong, they are still struggling. Look at so many other countries, they're still struggling for their rights.
Yeah.
So this is something we should keep doing as a society.
बिल्कुल. सो थैंक यू सो मच मनोज जी आपके टाइम के लिए. आई होप यू एंजॉय, और बहुत सारे जो व्यूअर्स इस लाइव ब्रॉडकास्ट के बाद इस डिबेट को, इस वीडियोस को देखेंगे, प्लीज इसको कमेंट करना, आपके सुझाव, आपको कैसा लगा, कुछ सजेशंस हो, फील फ्री टू आस्क, फील फ्री टू कमेंट. लेकिन कमेंट करते वक्त इस बात का बहुत ध्यान रखिएगा कि आपकी जो लैंग्वेज है वो एकदम अप्रोप्रिएट होनी चाहिए, अदरवाइज आई हैव टू डिलीट और आई हैव टू ब्लॉक यू. सॉरी, क्योंकि पिछले कुछ टाइमों से ये चीज बहुत आम हो गई है कि भाषा पर जो कंट्रोल होना चाहिए, जो पोलाइटनेस या जो सभ्यता होनी चाहिए, वो कहीं पर मिसिंग हो रही है. एंड वन मोर थिंग, डोंट मिस आउट टुमारो, वी हैव जय शाह फ्रॉम ओवरसीज फ्रेंड्स ऑफ बीजेपी प्रेसिडेंट, and he is going to talk about the role of ruling party in the democracy. So 2 interesting topics coming up. Thank you so much Manoj ji for your time, and I wish कि पूरे विश्व में on this day the opposition party come to the point where they can actually contribute and make the democracy healthier.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. See you.